I usually know how this works.
Guys, I'm switching. Oh man, it's a little laggy.
Little laggy.
Man.
So how laggy do we think it actually is?
About that.
Like, is it the internet being laggy? Or
No, it's an encoding issue.
Oh,
so I'd have to turn it off and restart it, which I can do. I might as well. What do you guys think? Should I try it again? Quite laggy. Thanks, Ian. You know what?
Sweet.
Check this out.
I like that the lag was also on the chat though for the little app. We saw it in YouTube first.
Hi, are you working?
It's going well.
Professionals.
Ay, ay, ay. We're hoping it's working.
Is Lupe saying needs butt?
I think he's saying needs butt.
Needs butt.
Let me see some Mac repair. James, we're trying to do some Mac repair action. We're trying. Don't worry, bud.
Troubleshooting.
I'm trying to repair this Mac.
You want to try running this on some old Mac Minis? I got a couple.
You know, that's actually a great segue for
that might work.
The next segment of the episode, which is where you're going to spend this entire episode fixing my fucking MacBook.
Oh, did it have a problem again?
It's had every problem ever. So here
nice.
you go, buddy.
Nice. I gave you the thing to install, or I gave it to you installed. Did it not? Ever?
No, it wasn't. No.
Oh, it's hot as shit.
So that's where I'm stuck.
That's all you can get to.
Well, I can get there, but then I can be like, hey, no internet, and it's a big problem. So that's fine.
No Wi-Fi. Who needs that?
That's wonderful.
Laptop?
Don't know why it does that.
Sorry, Lupe saying that was the glitch. What is happening there?
Different problem.
This is fun.
That's an easy fix.
Oh.
It just didn't remember that from before. Does the
this
is nice and laggy too.
Oh, just watching the mouse move. Oh,
is that because it's an old Mac?
Yeah.
Really? That's what we dealt with for years.
Yeah. I mean, it's an old Mac running a version of macOS that's not supposed to run on it. So
test
also that.
Testicles.
Hey, everybody, how are we looking? How are we looking here? Suggested bitrate is 15,628. Shut the fuck up, nerd.
Obviously.
God damn it. I fucking hate this shit. What the fuck?
It appears to be working.
The audio listeners have no idea what's been happening. They have no idea.
No.
This is why podcasts are great.
Going to be edited down so much. And the video people, the live stream people, you are patient, and it's going to still be a little laggy, but it's better than it was. And if you haven't already liked the fucking stream, like the goddamn stream. I'm fucking tired of this shit.
We started the first time we started this, it was not this eating.
You know what's crazy? I just can't. I can't open technology at work, and then suddenly it just doesn't work the time that I need it to work when we're trying to fucking live stream.
Yeah.
Did you pick the option to say I don't have internet?
No.
Because that works.
Well, no.
So you can set up an account, and then we can
I did pick that one time, and then I was able to get into setup, and then I still couldn't set up internet.
Is it fixed?
No, not yet.
Keep going.
Yeah. That's going to be a boring
Guys,
podcast.
I have to take a shot now. I'm so fucking pissed. I'm just so over this shit. You guys don't have to take a shot. I'm just over this. This is so...
I'll take a little halfy.
Halfy?
Yeah, we can do halves.
Dude, this is so fucking
I assume
stupid.
there's a quiz or something
There's
on
games
this show,
in this episode, so that's why it's here.
Yeah.
But Jesus fucking Christ.
Let us know, please, in the chat if it's good.
And if it's if it's not, I too bad.
Yeah, there's not much we can do, but maybe we'll put
I'll say sorry. You can. Well, you know what? We'll send you a link to our complaint box, and you can put a complaint in the complaint box.
Yeah, and we'll address it in 6 months, like Southwest did for me.
Perfect. Hey, cheers to you guys for the patience. Cheers to the viewers, and
to you for fixing it.
I guess I didn't do shit.
all right.
Now,
You did more than Dave and I did.
for the really exciting stuff.
I asked stupid questions. And I asked one stupid question, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to stop.
For the really exciting stuff, we almost have all of our stuff in for our Patreon members. So for everybody who has joined the Patreon, you will soon have your select items. Adam, can you walk us through this?
Yeah. So we have a sticker, with the show artwork.
You can put it right there.
And go up closer.
Yeah, that looks great. Perfect.
Yeah.
It does look great.
It's
It
just
looks
cool.
fucking
It's
great.
a little inside thing. It doesn't say anything about the podcast.
Fine.
If you don't want people to know you don't listen, or you do listen, then it's fine.
You want to keep it a fucking secret?
Yeah. we've got our cancel bucks, which
Says genuine cancel
I'm really
buck.
bad
Yep.
at this.
No, that's perfect. That's
Yeah.
you're displaying perfectly.
And then for the first 10 people at least, maybe more, we'll see if we like
I want
these.
one of those.
These are cool. They're
For the
a
first
little,
9 people.
first 8 people. They're another coaster, and it kind of is like a record. You can't see it on the video probably, but it's got little like groove looking things because of the printing. So
Boom.
and that's a coaster.
and
those-
that's another coaster
and these
because
are-
you need some
Coast to
coasters
coast.
for drinking.
And these are things that you will get if you join the Patreon. If you haven't already joined the Patreon, For
along
everyone-
with
along with koozies. It's not these koozies. It's
Maybe
nicer
similar,
ones.
yeah.
It's nicer ones.
Yeah.
They look really good from the like the mock-up that I got sent. Very excited. We'll have those in very, very soon. So if you haven't joined the Patreon already, join the Patreon. You get some shit from it. It's
We have
$5 a month.
100 of those on the way.
Yeah, 100 koozies on the way.
So you can join the Patreon and then quit the Patreon and join the Patreon and quit the Patreon. And
I don't know if we want to go that far.
Don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clearly, I don't know how Patreon
I want to make
works.
more money. That'll
Oh,
just be
okay.
the same $5 over and over and over again.
Except
So-
we're spending $5 to ship them a koozie.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Right.
That
yeah.
this is why I'm not in charge of this stuff. I immediately go into like scamming Patreon,
when in reality, you're
scamming
scamming
myself.
us.
Yeah. I'm not even good at being bad.
So join the Patreon. We I will announce this now. We'll talk about it at the end of the episode too. But we do have a really special Patreon episode we're going to be filming on Friday. Adam doesn't even know about it.
I don't know about this.
It's going to be we're going to be filming it on Friday, and it's going to be all about K-pop.
I was going to say, does it involve me? Because I
Nope, you're good.
need to know what time to be here.
I mean, if you want,
if you want to.
if you want to, you can.
We'll see.
We'll talk.
We'll figure it out.
We'll
Our friend-
figure it out.
Our dear friend Alan is doing a K-pop presentation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like presentations, like shared, like to the class, like PowerPoint kind of thing.
I don't know if she didn't do a PowerPoint, but she sent
Or is
me
it
some
like
of her,
Jackson and like a paper? Like
She sent me some of her notes, which so she's writing out everything. It's I don't know if she'll make it like a PowerPoint or whatever, but we will have a Patreon episode all about K-pop soon. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. But anyway, we're not here for that. We're here for a lot of other stuff.
I'm
Not a
just
lot of
glad we're here.
fucking stuff. Jesus fucking Christ.
glad we're here and that we're inside.
Yeah.
Currently
That-
storming
It is
outside.
storming.
And,
Yeah, it's true.
I hope my car is there when we go back. It might have floated away. I don't know.
Oh, and also, sorry for missing last week, both the main episode and Fun Friday. Sorry to everybody for that. Both were entirely my fault. I take full responsibility for that. And after as stressed as I was right now, I'll need another week off. So,
Lupe said, if I'm in town, can I roll through?
are you in town on Friday?
If you're in town,
Just text Dave.
text me.
Text Dave. We'll figure it out. So we're here now. It's fucking pouring in Denton, Texas, but it's good shit. We're surviving. We needed this rain, man. We needed it. We really did.
Some lady literally said that today.
Of course they did.
I'm
of fucking
Guaranteed
course they
my
did.
old neighbor said that.
Yeah.
Multiple times today.
Dude, no fucking yeah. Of course people say
We
that.
needed this rain, man.
We needed this rain. Anyway, we have some news topics to talk about, and then we have a topic as well. So I'm gonna jump into some of these news topics. I thought we could save these, but then it's just like some of them are too good to talk about. So I figure we just jump in and talk about it. Does that work for everybody?
Let's do it.
All right. So first things first. For some people, this probably doesn't matter at all, but for a lot of people, for a lot of the prog heads, the nerds, this is big news. Mike Portnoy was announced to rejoin Dream Theater. Now, for those who don't know about this whole saga,
You might know Mike Portnoy from playing the Hello Kitty drum set on YouTube.
yeah, that's true. He did get really big from that.
And that's how the Dream Theaters found him.
What?
That's how the Dream Theater discovered
Mike Portnoy.
Mike Portnoy.
Yep, that's not it. So Portnoy left Dream Theater in 2010. Just he wanted to do different shit. They had been a band since the 80s, sometime in the 80s, not exactly sure when, but sometime in the 80s. They met all at Berkeley. They're all a bunch of fucking nerds, and they write prog metal. They were like kind of one of the pioneers to popularize the genre for sure, and popularize the not popular genre. So Mike Portnoy leaves in 2010, and there's this really great YouTube documentary series that is all these amazing drummers auditioning to join Dream Theater. And it's just this journey of like Dream Theater trying to find the right replacement. It's really emotional. You see all these people like putting in their fucking all, right? To be in Dream Theater. So they audition a bunch of people and they eventually land on Mike Mangini. I can't remember.
I've always said Mangini.
Yeah, Mangini. Mike Mangini. Awesome player. So good, right? And now, after 13 years and a Grammy,
That's a long time to be in a band.
they said, see ya, we're bringing Mike back. So the initial take is that people are like, oh my God, I'm so excited to see Mike back. But no one's really thinking about like, or see Portnoy back. But Mangini, in all of his like amazing wisdom, was like, I'm totally happy to leave. It's okay.
This
It's gonna
seems
be
like
fine.
the Red Hot Chili Peppers thing, but for better music.
Also seems like the Matt Skiba thing.
Yeah, I was going to say the Blink-182 thing,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. So Mangini said, I understand Dream Theater's decision to get Mike Portnoy back at this time. As was said from day one, my place was not to fill all the roles that Mike held in the band. I was to play the drums in order to help the band carry on. My main role of keeping our live show working tightly on a nightly basis was an intense and rewarding experience. Thankfully, I got to experience playing music with these iconic musicians, as well as some fun times laced with humor. I really enjoyed spending lots of time with the crew, and then there's the Grammy win, which was amazingly satisfying. And then he thanks the fans, and it's like, dude, that's so nice. What a nice thing to say. But like
While you're getting fired.
yeah, for no reason. Like he literally is like, I understood from day one. I was just here until Mike wanted it back. 13 years later.
That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
I would have been all over some weird contract shit.
Yeah.
I would have been like, I want 20 years of royalties.
I mean, for all we know, that did happen.
Yeah.
For sure.
And there is like, a deal to make it less shitty.
Yeah, but he's not going to miss out on gigs and stuff,
Right.
but it's still fucked.
Yeah. And then Dream Theater had a statement, but particularly the guitar player, John Petrucci, said, Mike Mangini's drumming is otherworldly, and I'm extremely grateful for the time he spent with us in Dream Theater. I'm very proud of all the amazing music we made together that culminated in our first Grammy win last year, and the countless magical moments that we've shared on our stage over the past 13 years. I wish him all the best to success in his future musical endeavors. I'm incredibly excited to welcome Mike Portnoy back into Dream Theater. As an original founding member, longtime friend, and incredibly talented and creative drummer, I know that his return will bring a renewed spirit, passion, and energy to Dream Theater that all of us, including our fans, will joyfully welcome. I can't wait to roll up our sleeves and get back into the studio together. It's
To
like,
not win a Grammy.
I was about to say, yeah.
like
You guys, we won a Grammy, but now we're done. We don't want any
Yeah.
more. We just need the one.
It's crazy. So when Portnoy leaves, he leaves to go do other stuff. The first thing he does, I believe it's the first thing, is he joins Avenged Sevenfold for a little Avenged Sevenfold for a little bit. Avenged Sevenfold, hold these nuts. Avenged Sevenfold. He joins them for a little bit because the Rev passed away, the drummer, and the Rev's biggest inspiration was Mike Portnoy. So it was really emotional. It was
Yeah,
really incredible.
that's a cool thing to do. Yeah.
Really cool, yeah. And then he goes and makes other bands. He does some session work. And that's about all he fucking does. And so then he's like, all right, cool, I guess.
Oh, the pandemic really made me miss being in a band. Next, fingers crossed it doesn't happen, but in the event of another pandemic, bands are going to start fucking scrambling. And members of bands who joined because another famous member left are going to be like, fuck, I'm about to lose my gig when this thing clears up.
Yeah.
Because it's been happening a lot.
It's crazy. What's the fucking what's the Rolling Stones drummer's name?
Now?
No.
Charlie Watts.
Dude, Charlie Watts gonna come back from the dead.
I was wondering where you were going with this, and I'm like, does he know he's dead?
Dude.
He knows he's dead,
I'll take
right?
I'll take this.
canceled
I know
sticker.
he's dead. Yeah.
No, that, in my head, I was like,
Jesus.
as you were saying that.
He comes back from the dead. Steve Jordan's done work.
Oh, man.
Steve Jordan's done work.
But
and
Steve
also
Jordan's gonna be like-
honored work.
Ooh, I don't care. Sorry, Mick Jagger. John Mayer's on the other line.
Dude, I would love it if he's like, nah, dude, my gig.
Yeah. What are you going to do, Charlie? The fuck are you going to do? I'll hit you with the snare drum.
I'll push you over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take a cancel block for that. That's fine.
Oh, sorry, Charlie Watts.
So yeah, just kind of not my favorite situation to take place in as far as like in the progressive metal scene. Like it's like we don't need to have people like acting like this about Dream Theater. Yes, it's cool he's back, but why do we have to? I don't know. Like I feel like we're taking advantage of Mike Mangini a little bit. You know,
is part of the thing like they need to sell more tickets or something?
So
like have they not had people coming to the shows for the last 10 years?
No,
I doubt it.
They're doing just fine.
That's what I
They're like an
figure, yeah.
institution at
Right.
Like if Metallica replaced Lars,
right.
maybe that would affect their ticket sales, but
Probably
I
not.
strongly doubt it.
Yeah.
Not by much, no.
I think the fans would rejoice.
I think a lot of the fans would be like, "Who's that guy?"
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the
Mike Portnoy would be like, "Sorry guys,
the thing
I gotta go play them with Metallica."
the thing that happens is like it's just press. That's all it comes down to. It's just press, and it's just gross.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I hope that everything goes well. I hope that everybody ends up being happy and they make good music. But it's just like, dude, they won you a Grammy. How long have you been a band and never had a fucking Grammy?
How many albums have they put out?
Yeah,
without a Grammy.
15 or 16,
Yeah.
I think.
and they're a progressive metal band to win a Grammy. That's crazy.
Yeah, not just to get nominated, but they won it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's wild. So it bothers me for that, but otherwise it's fine.
I'm looking up their discography to see when they put out the first record.
What, it should be like 45 albums.
Dude,
1989.
Yeah,
The year that I was born.
they've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
So,
In the month that I was born.
wow, crazy. It's
You
like
should tell them that. You can join the band.
Yeah. You want to play?
Dude.
Be like,
play
I
a
was an
six-string
original
bass?
member.
No.
You want to play?
no.
You want to take over
John,
that bass?
John
Shit.
Mayung, he's a fucking incredible bass player. There's no way.
Yeah.
I would fold every single day.
But if they need some more press,
yeah, that'll help. The press would be so confusing because it'd be like, they got the guy from Linkin Park to play bass in Dream Theater. You're like, no, it's me,
It's me.
the guy from Denton.
That's really funny. Speaking of local musicians in Denton, Texas, so Spotify is changing the way they're paying out musicians again. I just had the link pulled up, and then it told me I had to subscribe, and I'm not going to do that to read it. But I remember the gist of it because they haven't actually released all the details yet. But the gist of it is that they're changing the way that payout works so that you won't get paid unless you have a certain number of streams. So they're not going to pay you based on your total stream, but like let's say you only get 100 streams, they're just not going to pay you for it.
right? There's no minimum payout now.
Yeah,
Rather, there is a minimum payout now, and it's whatever that number is.
based on, and as far as I've seen, they haven't said what that number is for like how many streams you have to get paid.
I'm sure the studios are helping them figure out what that number is, so they don't pay anyone not signed to a label.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, well, hopefully. No, that sucks. It sucks no matter what, but I could see them doing that in order to raise the payout per stream once you get to that point.
God, I hope so.
No,
Yeah.
it's to increase profits. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if they pay anybody more as a result of this.
Yeah, it's a really weird move in my opinion because it's like people already hate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People already hate you for this, and you're like, you know what? Why don't we make it worse? Why don't we make it it's a thing where first of all I feel very strange when a lot of like local artists are like, man, my song has 1,000 plays. Why don't I have $1,000? I'm like, slow your fucking roll, buddy. I don't know how you think
Would
this works.
would everybody have given you $1 for that song on iTunes?
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
No.
I don't know how
Not a
you
chance.
think this is going to work, but it's not like that. But I do think that you deserve to make money off of that. I don't know how much, nor am I the person, but you deserve to make money off of it.
5 cents.
Just 5 cents per stream.
No, total.
just total.
Per 1,000 streams.
Sure. But whatever it is, like that, it is an unfair rate probably, but like it's hard to quantify that. But you still deserve to get something.
Sure.
And to just go like, let's say it is 1,000 streams. Nope, not enough.
But that does go against the owner, the guy who runs Spotify. I don't remember his name. But
Daniel Eck.
Daniel Eck was like, if you want more money from Spotify, release more music.
Yep.
That was his answer.
Yeah.
And now that de-incentivizes releasing more music and instead promotes taking more time to write better music
And to
in the
have a
hopes that
hit.
it gets picked
Yeah.
up.
Right.
So what is it, Mr. Eck?
Hey, billionaire who's invested lots of money into weapons of mass destruction. What is it?
What is it? Eck.
What is it?
That's why he needs more money.
True. Yeah.
Probably a bunch of wars. He needs to invest some money.
Yeah.
More
You know?
weapons.
Yeah.
Fucking Christ. Yeah.
Next.
Next. So
We're just doing all the bad news.
Well,
Yeah.
Gotta get it all in there. So we talked briefly the last news episode about the purchase of Bandcamp to Songtradr,
Purchased from the game company. I can't think of the name of.
Epic Games.
Yeah.
Yep. And Bandcamp, they fired half. They laid off half of their staff. I guess the sale. I don't know. I thought it was like I guess the sale hadn't been finalized.
It sounds like it was a requirement for the sale to happen.
Gotcha.
Which I think is illegal for them to do that. I'm pretty sure that's collusion of some kind between companies.
Collusion.
But it's not going to matter. They fired or laid off half of these people.
Half of
Almost
them.
all of them in editorial, I think, right?
Yeah, almost all of them in like the
So-
Bandcamp daily stuff.
Yeah, that's dead. Honestly, Bandcamp's probably dead in the
Yeah.
next couple years.
I think that's
Damn,
that's
you heard it here first.
that's kind of the biggest thing is that like when Epic initially bought them, I kind of had this thought of like, man, this could be really great, and I still stand by where I felt about that because it's like this, Bandcamp having some sort of like backing like that really is a strong thing.
Could be good. Yeah.
Yeah. And then this happens, and it's like, and it's also like, Epic, why did you buy this? What do you think? What did you think this was? Like, what on
A
earth?
profitable business?
I mean, I guess, but like a profitable.
No, but I mean, it was a profitable business.
Yeah.
So that's to me that I've said this last time. I think like it's confusing to me why you buy a profitable business and then go, well, we need to get rid of this thing that makes money. Instead, we're going to do these games that may or may not make money.
right.
Like, let's go
We need to-
gamble as a company.
Well, the whole goal is to throw all of it back into Fortnite. That's the
Right.
whole goal. So
Which
yeah,
probably good business for right now.
Yeah,
Probably
whatever.
not good in 20 years. I don't know.
who cares? Epic Games.
I think people will still be buying music on Bandcamp in 20 years if it was around.
if it's around, yeah, that's very
So,
true.
Big
So,
if.
Big if.
Well,
big
now,
if true.
yes.
Big if true.
So it really is what it kind of seemed like we talked about, like just billionaires trading companies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is, and it's not like none of this is they don't care about anybody except for themselves.
No,
They
no,
don't
of
care
course
about
not.
anybody except for a number they see on a page. And if the number isn't what it needs to be, what they think it needs to be, then fuck everybody else. Get fucked.
Yeah.
So,
And if you're writing, stories about music, then like who needs that? When
Yeah.
you sell stuff with AI or whatever the fuck they're gonna do.
yeah. I mean, and it's crazy, like, talking about like local musicians who maybe get smaller streams on Spotify. They like Bandcamp is a bread and butter for those kinds of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like
And there's no alternative.
no, there's not a space.
Well, I shouldn't say there's none. There is one, but it involves you hosting your own website and shit, which nobody's
Yeah.
doing.
Well, I mean, it's
Right.
like the requirement is like you need to basically you have to run a small business no matter what if you're doing
Right.
music, right? And
But now you're running a website.
yeah,
With the
exactly.
store.
Yeah. So it's just it's a lot. It's too much. And it's gross. So fuck billionaires.
Next.
Next. This is just so random, and it's the perfect segue to get us into our topic today. Is Francis Bean Cobain got married to Riley Hawk, Tony Hawk's son. It's just so random.
Okay.
And so
That sounds like Mad Libs in the 90s.
All right, give me a celebrity. Give me a celebrity.
Yeah.
Kurt Cobain. Okay, Kurt Cobain's daughter. Okay, give me another celebrity. Another one. Tony Hawk.
That famous skateboarder guy.
Yeah, exactly. They got married. Super random. They got married like last month, I think.
They've been together for a while.
Yeah. So very cute.
That's nice.
Yeah. But that gets us into talking about what we're here to talk about today, which is grunge music.
Did they play grunge music at their wedding?
I mean,
Riley's in a grungy kind of band.
Yeah. So then maybe.
I didn't know that.
Nepotism, baby.
Oh, sure. I mean, whatever.
Is that still nepotism if it's a different industry?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
I mean, his band was pretty much immediately playing like big festivals.
Okay.
like Tony
yeah.
Hawk Pro Skater 3.
Yeah, it's a huge festival. Like Tony Hawk
Is the-
singing with Goldfinger.
Is the band
Dude,
called Tony Hawk?
Did you
Tony Hawk and the Pro Skaters.
Wait, did you see Tony Hawk singing
Yeah,
with Goldfinger
yeah.
when we were young?
Yeah, and
That
they let him
was-
sing by himself, and he was like, oh.
Dude, it sounded like he had no idea where he was
I
in the
know.
song. And I meant to go back and look to see if he had in-ears, but that was
doubt it.
It was just, I feel like he was going, getting older all the time, getting older all the time.
Shit.
So we are here today to talk about grunge music. And so I feel like the energy that I've been bringing in is going to be really good for this topic.
Is that why you're wearing that shirt?
That's why I'm wearing this shirt.
Fuck,
That makes sense.
dude. If we had done it last week, I was gonna wear a similar shirt.
I was gonna wear well, I had a couple options, and I went with this one today. I don't know if it comes across well on the video.
No,
it's
it
a
kind
little
of
hard
just
to
looks
see
like
on
you're wearing a
video,
black
but-
shirt.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck off. I don't care. It's not about. I don't wear it for the fashion. Anyway,
He's in character.
I'm in character. So grunge music. So let's start with maybe our experiences with grunge. How about that?
I mean, I don't know about you young fucks, but I
feeling
grew up
22.
in the 90s,
I grew up in the night. Fucking
Yeah.
the early 90s.
whatever. Keep going.
Were you born before Kurt Cobain died?
Yes.
Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Think so.
What year did he die?
94.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
then
born
yes.
in '92.
Okay.
You're thinking of Jackson.
Yeah, where's Jackie? Just kidding. He wouldn't like this episode.
Sure, he would.
Yeah, definitely grew up hearing grunge of all sorts. But I didn't think of it as much as I do now in terms of like I didn't understand the impact it had
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
at the time that it did.
I think that's probably fair for most people. Like, you weren't going to realize this is going to be a big deal
Yeah.
when you listen to it.
I would say that older people in their 30s and 40s at that time were probably like, "Oh fuck, this is huge."
Right. Like the label executives and
Yeah.
producers. Yeah.
Yeah. The owners of Sub Pop.
Yeah.
It's them exclusively.
Yeah. The billionaires at Sub Pop.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't listen to grunge at all.
totally did.
Until later. Like,
Yeah.
it was,
I'd heard grunge, but I didn't like go seek it out.
yeah. And we'll get to like, you know, later. I did listen to grunge and then I didn't again. It's a genre that I feel like it's strangely polarizing. It doesn't need to be so polarizing, but it just is strangely polarizing.
It's part of its character at this point to
Yeah.
be polarizing.
Well,
Yeah.
and at every level, it's polarizing. And to even the bands that were considered grunge.
Yeah. So, do you know what the word grunge means?
I know there's an actual definition that predates any of this music, but I don't remember.
It just means dirt.
Oh,
It's dirty.
damn it! I could have guessed that.
Yeah, it just means dirt.
Is it dirt?
Someone or something that is repugnant. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just dirt. But the word for the genre seem to come from. Some people claim it comes from multiple places. But one of the main ones is Bruce Pavitt described Green River's "Dry as a Bone" EP as gritty vocals, roaring Marshall amps, ultra loose grunge that destroyed the morals of a generation. So I never heard that. Have you guys listened to that?
No, I have not.
So I figured we could listen to some stuff today because I think that like we all know what Nirvana sounds like. I'm sure that like some of our listeners are really well listened people, so they probably know what, you know, a lot of this that I'm going to talk about sounds
I
like.
think I would say almost everybody knows what Nirvana sounds like,
Right.
unless they're in high school.
Right. No, high,
Because right
high
now,
school.
right now,
people-
Nirvana is a clothing company.
high school people for sure know what it sounds like. But the point being that I think that listening to some of this stuff and putting ourselves maybe in the way back machine and just placing ourselves in 1980, whatever this album came out. This is 1990, but I think it was before that. And just kind of like just putting ourselves in the place of when this came out.
Dude, we got to get a whole tone scale on the board.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay. Thanks, man.
There's 100,000 monthly listeners. That
There you go.
seems like a lot.
Yeah.
For this.
So this is Green River.
You might know them
Swallow-
from such hits as "Swallow My Pride," "This Town," "Rehab Doll," or "Queen Bitch."
Yeah, you know those songs.
I think, isn't that their entire E EP?
Probably.
Probably. Yeah. Here we go. Here's "Swallow My Pride."
Sounds like Jane's Addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It totally fits. To me, it just fits the vibe of what the genre is.
Sure.
But a little bit earlier, but then let's listen to "This Town." this doesn't make me think grunge.
No. I mean, again, though, to me, I can hear where. No, never mind.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that riff kind of sounds a little bit Soundgarden-y.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I hear that.
Soundgarden.
I hear that. So this is not where grunge comes from. We'll get to that. But the idea of grunge being this gritty, like loud, kind of messy music is where this is kind of coming from. Kurt Cobain said that Jonathan Poneman, who was the co-founder of Sub Pop, he originated the term grunge. But it seems like it's kind of a toss-up who actually originated it.
Well, and do we really? We've done an episode on Kurt Cobain.
Yes.
Do we claim him to be a reliable narrator?
No.
We're not going to rehash that because that was a very depressing episode. But.
I'll talk about it again. So anyway, this is the interesting part that I found. I found this very fascinating. The word grunge has been used to describe music since the 60s. Okay. So there are a number. We'll go listen to some of like the proto grunge in a little bit, but that's a wild idea. That like the idea of like just that word being used to describe like messy music, right, has been around since the '60s, but it really became associated in the '90s with the Seattle sound.
Right.
That's what the cell was the Seattle sound. Everybody who's sitting here going, "Say Seattle," I said it. It's the Seattle sound.
Seattle warehouse.
It's the Seattle sound. But before we keep diving into more of this, it's time for our first game. Now, this one doesn't have questions. This is you just got to go for it, okay? Now, for those who don't know, a lot of genres, specifically thrash metal, has the big four, okay? So, you guys know what that is for the big four for thrash metal? Okay. So
I don't know who they are, but I understand the idea.
Anthrax, Megadeth, Metallica, and Slayer?
Yeah, that's the big four for thrash metal. Okay, you hear that and you're like, yeah, for sure, right?
Yeah.
Beat you to it.
I said I didn't know.
Big four for grunge. Now, I have a new thing for this.
Other than
Oh
Nirvana.
my God. Is it a whole tone scale?
Fuck off. So, what big four for grunge. Ready?
Nirvana?
Great.
That seems like a shit answer.
But I need four.
Nirvana, Stone Temple Pilots, Alice in Chains, and fucking Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam, yeah.
You said four there, right?
That's 4.
Well, yeah, but I forgot to mention Soundgarden.
Soundgarden.
Wait. Hold on, wait.
So you're going for 5.
So I'm going to go Soundgarden,
Okay.
Alice in Chains,
Okay.
Nirvana,
Okay.
and Pearl Jam.
Okay. Adam, what you got?
The same as Dave.
You fucker.
Nirvana, Pearl Jam, I think Stone Temple Pilots. Did you say that? Or
Yep,
you didn't
you
put
said
that in your top 4.
I took that back.
You
though.
took that out, though. I think they're in the top 4.
You think Stone Temple Pilots is?
Yeah.
Okay. Dave takes it.
I almost went back and said like the Melvins
Dude, no, that was. I mean, you said 5, but
well, because I forgot
The
about
game is called Name 4.
I forgot about Soundgarden for a
you
second.
said you.
But
you
Soundgarden
said
is in the
5.
4.
Soundgarden,
That makes
Nirvana,
sense.
Alice in Chains, and Pearl Jam. And let's give it up one time for Ian in the chat.
Did he put it in the chat?
Putting it in the chat while you're fucking answering the
While I'm
question.
answering the
doing
question.
Let's give it up for Ian one time for crushing it and getting it 100% right, because I think Ian knows more than all of us do on this fucking show.
He's gonna be yelling at his phone a lot during this episode. I think.
Yes! Fucking yell at me! Yeah, I'm not a 90s kid, you know? I don't know this shit.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you've spent any amount of time listening to those bands, they don't sound anything alike.
Yeah, that
okay, but...
you listing them off, I'm like, they're not all in the same genre. I get how they can all be seen as in the same genre. But
Yeah.
But
some
like,
of that's just like the time when they
It's
were
the Seattle
popular.
sound that
Yeah.
Hagen mentioned before.
but you talk about
Well,
like...
Pearl Jam especially, yeah.
You talk about like the big four of thrash metal. Megadeth and Metallica maybe sound alike.
Right.
Anthrax and Slayer are nothing like those two.
Right.
And they're nothing like each other either. So I think it's more of just like these are the bands that fit into grunge, and they are the ones that did the most and have given the most, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So now let's jump into some of what got us to grunge. So what do you guys think is like the biggest thing that got us to grunge? What was like what's like the stuff that pioneered us?
Punk.
Musically, I was just thinking like general stuff. Like,
Whatever you want, man. Whatever you want. Man.
Poverty? I don't know. There's an aspect to that.
Poverty.
Does he get a thing for that? What the fuck? He gets a cancel buck for that. Are you fucking kidding me?
Growing up in Seattle in the 80s.
Yeah.
The rain.
Yeah, how depressing it is.
Musically, though, what would you describe?
So
what would you
boring.
say?
Punk is the obvious
Punk,
thing. Yeah.
metal,
Yeah.
like Black Sabbath.
Yeah. I
Like
think,
older
I think
metal, not
Not fast speed
Right.
metal,
yeah,
but
I think Black Sabbath was a large people. A lot of people mentioned Black Sabbath.
yeah.
But I do want to listen to a band that is called proto grunge. Okay, this is a band called the Sonics.
Proto grunge. Oh, okay.
I've listened to them before.
You've listened to the Sonics?
Yeah.
No
Like a
way.
fucking type.
Yeah.
Why?
Jack White talked about it somewhere.
Why? Why?
There we go. There's the culprit.
Okay.
Maybe I'm one of those 400,000 monthly listeners. I don't listen monthly. But
So this is the album. Here are the Sonics.
Oh, that's old.
Yeah, this is the 60s I was talking about. This is 1965. 65.
What year was Kurt Cobain born?
Probably 70. No, it must be 60 something. 65.
I almost just spelled it Kirt.
Like Kurt.
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 He was born in 67.
Oh wow. He heard this. So listen to the most streamed one. Have Love Will Travel. That's a weird song name. Yeah. I was like, am I reading that right?
well, they had fewer letters back then, so
Well, also like when you hear it, the song name will kind of make a little bit of sense when you hear what they sound like. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I listened to a number of songs off of this album, off of Here Are the Sonics, and that's kind of the biggest takeaway I had is it's like the riffs. I could imagine hearing that exact riff if it was like a little bit slower. Maybe Kurt Cobain would have played that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that to me, that's like, oh yeah, that's why this is grunge. But yeah, it's like if I could totally just see someone on like a late night show in a suit just playing this too.
Wait,
you know?
are they still
Yeah.
playing? Look at the tour schedule there. The Sonics.
Looks like it.
surely not any of the original members.
Surely not. Dude, let's make a fucking podcast outing and go see the Sonics live.
What the hell?
Dude, it's pretty cool stuff. Like it's not. I mean, it's like it's old '60s rock, but like a little bit more distorted, which is cool for that.
Yeah.
You know? So here are the Sonics.
Yeah, the classic lineup that actually recorded these songs are all not in the touring band.
Are they all dead?
It doesn't say if they're all dead, but at least one of them is alive and is unable to travel. So I guess they maybe
Okay.
endorse these people carrying on their legacy. That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
So.
Brian Wilson tried that shit. The Beach Boys.
Yeah.
And how'd that go?
Yeah, not well.
So there are a number of other acts that have been described as proto grunge. Elvis Costello being one that's been also.
I could see that, kind of.
Like the Stooges, the Melvins to the Melvins.
Yeah.
That's a huge one. There's a
Mudhoney.
there's a great article that's like bands that pioneered grunge, and the article kind of it does just list off grunge bands, but then it also mentions like bands like Wipers. They were 1977.
Okay.
There was that, like, you know, the Melvins, like you said, but to me, Mudhoney is just like grunge, you know, like Mudhoney is just like.
I honestly don't know that I've heard any Mudhoney songs.
The only reason I heard a Mudhoney song was not to talk about another podcast on our podcast, but on Your Favorite Band Sucks. When they talked about Nirvana, they were like, Mudhoney is just better. They were like, Mudhoney is just, if you like Nirvana, you should just be listening to Mudhoney. There's no reason why you shouldn't. So we'll listen to just the top song, Touch Me, I'm Sick. Great.
With the lights out.
This could have so quickly, oh wait,
Oh,
that's.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That could have so quickly have gone to like a Like a punk groove there instead of where it went. So that to me just screams even more grunge, you know?
Can we hear some Melvins?
Yeah.
Adam
James-
stopped working on it, James. He stopped working on the MacBook. He quit his job.
Yeah.
He's not on the clock
It's
anymore.
still on, even though I closed the lid. So we'll see if the
Smell
battery
that, smell
goes.
that all day.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He tried. He said we can fix it later. I think I have to log into
You
it.
have to, you'd have to make an account without, all our podcast listeners care about this.
Yeah, that's the next Patreon episode.
Yeah.
Dude, let's keep it going.
Yeah, I want to hear the Melvins.
Okay, yeah.
No, next Patreon episode is having Dave fix somebody's iPhone. I feel like, I know I've done that. I feel like Hagen might have done that.
Have you tried to update it?
Have I tried to update an iPhone?
No,
Oh.
that's what you said when I was trying to fix OBS.
Oh, okay.
which was a totally fair suggestion.
It was.
Right.
There was just no update.
just have to point.
get
I
it.
have to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, we'll just listen to the top Melvin song.
Honey Bucket. I feel like it's almost a pet name for your spouse. Hi, Honey Bucket.
This is just punk, yeah.
Yeah, this isn't.
This is heavy as shit.
Yeah.
Let's hear some vocals on this. Damn, what year did this come out?
93.
After Nevermind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's brutal.
I mean, this could be Queen.
Is this what grunge was supposed to become?
I'm gonna fast forward a bit.
Oh,
there
wow.
it is. Yeah.
Sounds like Slayer.
There it is. That's Slayer.
This is thrash.
Dude, that's Slayer.
How is this grunge?
Dude.
Okay,
oh,
let's go to
yeah.
early
Yeah,
Melvins,
yeah.
like post 90s.
Pre 90s.
Or yeah, sorry.
Let's go to their album from last
Oh
year.
yes.
I
Damn,
can
they're
do that.
still going too. Holy
I
shit.
can do that if you'd like.
89.
Okay, let's
do it.
listen to the
Vile.
Vile.
This is definitely an album that people start playing and then just stop looking at those numbers.
Yeah. I want to hear what Kurt Cobain thought was the best music ever, and then they're like, "This sucks."
I want to hear what Kurt Cobain thought.
Like a little kid.
I mean, essentially, this is us right now.
Yeah.
It's us.
I want to hear what Kurt Cobain thought was heavy.
I think
Dude.
Dave's bored, right?
Dude, these Dave's
No,
bored, right?
no. Well, because I'm listening to this, and it sounds like it could be the same guy that could be Steve Albini.
Yeah, it could.
The snare sound.
Yeah.
Ozma.
How many people did exactly what I'm about to do? Let's just fast forward.
Yeah.
There it is.
All right.
Dude, that's heavy as hell. Yeah, that's nuts. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. What? Did you find the producer?
No, yeah, it doesn't say anything. about
Okay.
Steve Albini.
So that's one of the bands. The band I played earlier, Green River, is also one of like the precursors. But then like the list also includes Soundgarden, which is like, yeah, okay, they're just a grunge band. Like why is grunge, why is like Soundgarden and Nirvana on this list? They're
Right.
they're just part of grunge.
There is post grunge.
Dude, we're not even in there yet.
I
We're
know,
even,
I'm
like,
just saying.
in it yet, dude.
You gonna call Foo Fighters post grunge?
Shut up, Adam.
Yes. So we've already talked about some of it, but let's dive into some of the musical qualities of grunge. Let's dive into what kind of makes grunge. Okay, what makes grunge tick? Okay, so what are these musical qualities, Dave? Hit us with some of what you think the musical qualities of grunge are.
It's not necessarily about flashy guitar playing and
Yeah,
really fast, accurate musical abilities.
yeah,
It's kind of the antithesis of what was happening before it, which would be like the glam metal and hair metal and all those things.
yeah, exactly. The big things with the loud, distorted guitars, like we heard in that song from the '60s. It's just like distortion, like super loud drums, lots of fuzzy bass, and then the very intentional not shredding guitar solos.
Yeah.
very very intentional.
Raspy vocals.
Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned the vocals. Because this is what, to be honest, this is what brought me into wanting to do a grunge episode, was trying. My wife and I had a long conversation about, like, why do all the grunge vocalists sound like this? They all have that same. I was going to ask you to give an example. That's perfect. Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect.
That's it.
You try it. Album?
I can't do that.
Oh.
Oh, you can.
Come on.
Patreon.
Yeah. So
You want to so bad I can see it in your face.
I don't want to.
So
that's the bad part.
the vocals are almost like they're screaming. It's almost like an outburst. There's a lot of tension in their neck. There's a lot of a lot of that, but also with a little bit of whine to it. And that is how you do grunge.
Dude,
right?
that sounded really good.
That's how you do it.
Have you taught a lesson on how to sing grunge?
No, but I can.
You could.
Just did.
That's the whole lesson.
And the other final piece is very, very slurred and hard to understand articulation and diction. The words don't come out very clearly. I think probably I would give someone money if they understood the lyrics to "Smells Like Teen Spirit" the first time they heard it.
Right.
Right. Like what?
Now
Like,
it's
what? Dude.
It's just because of the register you chose to sing that in.
Yeah.
It sounded like if South Park did a Nirvana episode.
So here's our next question.
Okay.
Okay. And maybe you remember, because I might have told you this.
I'm not going to fucking remember, and I know that you told me.
What is the word used to describe the vocal stylings of grunge? This is 4-part. Okay. You get choices.
Oh. Okay.
Then we can figure it out.
Yeah.
We went to college.
Yelping, yodeling, nasal yelling, or yarling.
Yarling.
Yodeling. just to not pick the same one, Adam.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
But I
that's
think
fair.
Adam's right.
Adam is right. It is
Yeah.
yarling. It is yarling. Yarling is a word that is used specifically for the grunge style. There's a whole article I found that kind of deep dives just that word specifically. It says just at the front, yarling is a singing style popularized in the 90s, in particular in grunge and post-grunge bands, as featured in indie music as well. It dates back further. Examples such as Jim Morrison and Johnny Cash also could be considered using yarling. Yarling has also been called grunge drone, nose yodeling, hunger dunger dang, and more recently, ham singing.
Ham singing. So
Yeah.
I think you mentioned Nathaniel Rateliff in that, right?
No,
Oh, well.
could have.
I mean, like when we talked about it the first time.
Yeah. we talked about it last time.
Maybe I did. Yeah. But yeah, it's a thing that people still use a lot.
Right. Because, we were talking about this in context of Margaret Glaspie does that
Yes,
kind of thing.
Margaret
Right.
Glaspie does. Yes, exactly.
Very different context.
Yeah. So it's yarling. So Dave, that's a halfie for you. I guess Adam kind of lost the first game.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys both get halfies.
I just stole his answers.
Yeah. You definitely get.
Yeah,
a
like a
halfie.
good student at UNT.
And you stole the chat's answers as well. If that's too much, you can just pour some back in.
Did we steal the chat's answers?
I don't know. Did you? Did you read Ian's
I
answer?
think Dave was reading them in real
Dave
time.
was
So.
reading it.
I knew the fucking answer.
I
Because you
knew
read
it.
it.
Ask me. Oh my God. Ask me again at like 1 a.m. on Friday.
What? Who the top 4?
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
I will be asking.
Catch me
you.
off guard.
Just randomly.
Yeah. I
Catch
will
me off guard.
Catch me off guard.
Shouting at Dave across the bar. What are the top 4?
Okay. So
To being losers.
cheers to you guys. Nice. Just to be different. That is grunge of you.
Yeah.
That's very grunge of you. So, in 1985, grunge starts to become popular just a little bit. Starts to really kind of gain its footing. It's particularly with that Green River EP. That we
In
listened-
Seattle, right?
Yes, yeah, in Seattle. This kind of starts the whole process. There was a release in 1986 released by CZ Records. The record featured tracks from 6 bands: Green River, Soundgarden, Melvins, Malfunction, Skin Yard, and U-Men. Malfunction and Skin Yard are 2 bands that come up a lot in this research. Particularly some of the members of the bands go on to do a lot more stuff as well. But I don't have time for all of that. All right.
We don't have time.
So this was the first time that that grunge was like getting featured in a lot of other stuff, where it was like, hey, look at this, look at this, look at this. There was like quotes saying the artist had a mostly heavy, aggressive sound that melded the slower tempos of heavy music with the intensity of hardcore, which I think is super interesting because sometimes you listen to grunge, it's like, man, I would love to see I don't know. I'd love to someone to hear Nirvana and go like, yeah, that's hardcore music. Right. That's such a different idea. But
I mean, there are some songs on their first release that,
yes, that's
under
true.
the pressure of Sub Pop,
Yeah, that's very true.
you can tell that they were trying to go a little more hardcore.
And so people just said, well, what kind of music is this? This isn't metal. It's not punk. What is it? But during all this time, live shows were happening, and the live shows were being very sparsely attended. There just wasn't a lot of people going to the shows. There was some more like people picking it up kind of across, like in the UK. People were starting to listen to it more there, but it still wasn't getting the publicity that it gets, that it's supposed to get. Crispity in the chat says, perfection. I'm performing a grunge cover concert tomorrow with my band. Well, best of luck at your gig then.
Yeah, good luck on the gig.
Best of luck on the gig.
Look out for heroin.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, you get a cancel buck.
that's a safe warning. That's a safe warning.
You get a cancel
Is it a
buck.
safe
It's
warning?
a safe warning for life, I
Well, it's a
suppose.
cover band, so look out for synthetic heroin.
Oh,
Jesus fuck. I'm assuming.
that another cancel
Yeah,
buck?
you get
Oh,
another
yeah.
cancel buck for
Yeah.
that. Jesus Christ. Welcome to the chat. In my school cafeteria, so I won't see any heroin. Give him another one. Give him another.
Okay. All right. Stay in school.
yeah. Just think about what you said, Dave.
Oh.
Oh my God. Crispity, thank you so much for being in this chat right now. You have made my day. Oh my Lord. Woo! All right.
Oh, good. Look, if you're still playing gigs at a place that has a cafeteria and you're doing grunge, there's no shock
Yeah.
hearing about heroin.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
very true. That's
But if you don't know anything about the bands that you're covering, most of them are no longer with us.
Yeah, and I would say don't go research them before tomorrow.
Yeah. Very, very true.
Oh yeah, look, I'll find a way to send videos to y'all somehow through Instagram or something.
Oh yeah,
Awesome,
please
yeah.
follow
Send
us on
them
Instagram,
and we'll
send it.
we'll show them on Fridays.
Yeah, for sure. If you send it before our live stream on Friday, then we'll watch it on our live stream on Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And then Dave will make some bad jokes.
Yeah.
So moving on into the 90s, this is where things happen, which is crazy to think about this. And I kind of want to start to like get this idea going now, which is this is when things start to matter. This is when grunge starts to matter. Is 1991 when Nevermind comes out. And it's the unfortunate reality that that's where it starts to matter.
Yeah.
The buck starts here.
Yeah.
Right? People thought it was going to be a minor success. They compared it to Sonic Youth's album Goo, and they thought it was just going to be fine. And we know that is not the case.
Yeah. The label was like, we'll print 50,000 copies.
Yeah.
And if it sells that, then we're happy. That's
Yep.
all you need to worry about.
We're not going to do more.
Exactly.
And then Smells Like Teen Spirit's getting featured on MTV constantly. It's selling 400,000 copies a week by Christmas of that
I was
year.
gonna say, like the timing of this was perfect though, with MTV being maybe not at its peak, but like close to its peak.
It's also certified gold. It was certified gold by the end of 91 as well. And by January of 92, it has replaced Michael Jackson's Dangerous on the #1 Billboard 200. And before 2000 happens, Nevermind is certified diamond.
That's insane.
Yeah. 30 million copies worldwide sold as of now. And it
I thought they were only going to make 50,000.
Well, so when it started overwhelming the label and the record company, they stopped production of every other CD
Yeah.
to make this one to catch up with the demand of this record.
And like you said, Dave, like this has been like this overtook glam and hair metal.
Absolutely.
This was the thing that
This was the thing that changed it.
It shoved both of those genres in the fucking dirt, which is, some people might say a good thing. Oh God,
I think he would be upset by that.
It's
I
kind
think
of,
he
well,
would. I think
look,
he would too.
Yeah.
how many drummers were in Nirvana
How many
before Dave
grunge
Grohl?
musicians are left? Yeah, I'll take it. It's fine. Did you take my other one away?
I don't know. I thought
Yeah,
it was
this was mine for the Charlie
at
Watts
least
thing.
at least two.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a lot of grunge musicians left, just not a lot of singers.
It's just a joke, man.
I know, but an overwhelming amount of people from
Yeah.
that genre
Yeah.
and notoriety have.
Yeah, it's a very toxic genre in that
Yeah.
regard. Yeah.
So two interesting things started to happen as the genre popularized. The first thing being that a lot of other labels outside of Sub Pop, and I haven't mentioned, we said the name earlier, but just to really clarify, Sub Pop is the label that is doing this. Sub Pop is the label that is making grunge what it is. But now other labels are trying to also follow suit and trying to sign a bunch of grunge bands. For example, Stone Temple Pilots, the Toadies, Tripping Daisy, Paw, Veruca Salt. There's a number of these artists that are getting signed at this time. Similarly, a lot of bands like Soundgarden and Pearl Jam, who have been a part of this for a while, don't like the term grunge. They don't want to be associated with it. They want to be rock and roll bands. They are not interested in being a part of this thing. This is not related to my last statement. This relates to the Stone Temple Pilots thing. I wanted to make this a game, but I couldn't. I just couldn't do it. So I'm instead just going to ask you, and if one of you knows the answer, or if Ian knows the answer in the chat, we'll give him a chance. Do any of you know Stone Temple Pilots' original name they almost went with? Now, I'll put the music back on just to give everybody, especially Ian, because Ian knows shit, a real chance. I'll give you 2 hints. It still is STP, okay? So it still follows that. I'll give you 3 hints. Still STP. It has a girl's name and a word that I will say, but it probably shouldn't.
No, I'm not gonna guess. I don't have any guesses.
Ian said Mighty Joe Young.
One of the grunge bands did have that as their first name.
That's
And I
hilarious.
think one of the bands had Mookie Blaylock as one of the first band
Weird.
names. Let me look up who that
It's a weird
was.
thing to know.
Adam, you have any guesses?
I have no idea.
So nothing at all. No gas aside from Mighty Joe Young. All right.
Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam was going to name their band Mookie Blaylock.
Oh, so Stone Temple Pilots almost went with the name.
You're going to say it?
Yeah, it's not like that bad. It's just a word that's like I don't need to use it in the way that most people use it.
Okay.
Shirley Temple's pussy.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Why do you think
not
the
have
label
guessed
didn't
that.
like that one?
They said that they like the article I read was like they almost landed. That was almost what they went with was Shirley Temple's pussy. That's crazy. That's wild.
The 90s were a crazy time.
It's absolutely insane.
Or I guess the 80s. But
So it's kind of hard to encompass how big this was for the time. There's a lot of bands that are existing, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, a lot of these bands are existing at this time, blowing up. But the craze of grunge does not last for long.
no, it fizzles out pretty quick.
Nirvana released 3 records.
Yeah.
That's
We
it.
Yeah.
did a deep dive.
Yeah.
I know, but still.
It is crazy to think
Yeah.
about. Their impact is like so massive and they're so well known. And it's like, well, they had 3 albums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like at least
And
one
really
good
just
one.
like 2 that people knew.
Yeah.
They played as Mighty Joe Young before they changed the name to STP. Well, then I'll take a shot if that's 100% right, because I only read the other one. But
Album.
We'll figure it
Our
out.
resident
Yeah.
IT and merch and now fact checker.
I only saw the other one. But hey, I was just looking up fun facts about grunge.
It was like a short list.
so much is happening. Bands.
Yeah,
like,
you have to take a shot.
That's fine. I'll do it.
Uh-oh.
I was looking forward to it anyway. Bands like
They,
Soundgarden.
they were also in a band called Swing before they formed that. So they had some interesting variety of names.
Swing is better than all of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Swing is the best one. So a lot of stuff is happening at this time, but people at the time started to say that around the time of like 1993, that's when it started to enter its first stage of being killed off. How long has it been? How long has grunge even been a fucking thing in the mainstream? We can just say like, oh, it's done for, you know?
Even Kurt Cobain at a certain point was like, I don't know how long this is going to last.
Yeah.
I mean, it is inherently like counterculture.
yeah.
And it's
Okay.
It's weird and it doesn't work quite as well if it's mainstream.
So that's
Which
kinda,
is a stupid argument in some aspects, but like punk is kind of like that too. When punk is really popular, it's not as compelling.
that's kind of the one of the things that I wanted to touch on like towards the end, but I'll start to kind of sprinkle this in now, which is there is such a thing with grunge that's like it people talk about the fashion and the aesthetic of grunge. They still talk about it now. I'm wearing this shirt. We could see it and be like, "Oh, it's grunge," right?
That happens with everything.
True.
Every very popular wave of music, culture, everything.
True. But everyone in Seattle, everyone who was there at the time, was like, this is just like there's a great article that I should send you, Adam. You can put in the show notes. That's like it's from 1992, and it's an archived New York Times article that is basically like talking about how like the word about the rise of grunge. And they have a great paragraph in there. It's like thrifting is a verb now. That's
Right.
like 92. The idea of we know that thrifting is a verb, but like the idea back then of like thrifting is a verb now. People go and buy these shirts. This is just what people do. It's like you know we made the poor joke earlier, but it's like this is
There
like,
is an aspect of that though.
yeah, there's a reality of like people are going thrifting to buy these kinds of clothes, and this was just the culture they lived in. And this was the reality of Seattle at the time. Was this is what they wore, this is what they were into, this is the counterculture of it. And so the idea of it reaching a popularity and it reaching this kind of thing where like, you know, they talked about in that Foo Fighters doc where it's like all the kids who beat me up in high school are now at my fucking shows. Like this kind of changes, you know, how we look at the genre as a whole.
Exactly, yeah. And all the top fashion designers, their next season of like upcoming runs of clothing is all grunge looking stuff.
Yeah.
And the juxtaposition from like Vera Wang like premiering her grunge thing
Right.
or their grunge thing to like the kids in Seattle that have to go thrifting because they can't afford new clothing and they end up with plaid t-shirts because that's what their dads wore to work outside in the fucking
and now
cold.
It's not cool.
Yeah, and now it's not cool. It's so strange, man.
Yeah. And it's so interesting that like it's so of course like you said this happens all the time.
Yeah.
Right? But you know, this happens all the time like you know in I think larger ways and ways that like in much longer like fashions where this is so isolated, this is so short, and people still wear the fashion to this day. That's kind of the thing that gets me about it is it's like now grunge, yes, people know Nirvana and Soundgarden, but grunge is an aesthetic and a fashion more than anything else now.
Yeah. There's 110% people who would consider themselves as dressing grunge and
Yeah.
don't know who any of these bands are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
cheers.
that was kind of my point with the like Nirvana is a clothing company at this point, or a
Right,
clothing
yeah.
brand to people.
Yeah.
So the decline seems to start in 93. People were saying the scene had nowhere to go but down. It couldn't go up anymore. This is it. The passing of Kurt Cobain, the passing of the bass player for Hole, Kristen Pfaff, I think is how you say it. And so then, you know, pretty quick, we start to get what people call post-grunge.
Cobain died in 94, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so post-grunge seems to start as early as 95, which is another quick turnaround. But interestingly, like the bands that people would consider post-grunge, Foo Fighters, Weezer, and like
Silverchair.
Silverchair, and then a lot of Britpop also is part of the post-grunge.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Blur and Oasis fit into a lot of that. Which it's funny. I'm reading about it, and people are like, "It's these alternative bands." I'm like, "Then it's not post-grunge,
No,
jackass. It's
just
alternative bands."
Now I can go. Okay, can we go to some early Silverchair?
Yeah.
if you guys haven't spent any amount of time listening to them, before they put out their first record, they were literally just kids in Australia writing like very mediocre music. And then when they actually had the opportunity to go in and write, and work on a high level recording or record, it's not even that high level. But when they had the opportunity to do that, this is the kind of stuff they started writing. So let's listen to Pure Massacre. Yeah. Ian's already talking in the chat about how the lead singer pronounces Pure Massacre.
Yeah, but that's grunge.
Yeah, this sounds grungy.
Yeah, this is grunge. Yeah.
But I think they were like 18 at this point.
Yeah, this just sounds like grunge.
Yeah.
But wait till we get to the chorus.
So why is this post grunge?
Exactly.
Because it's after the.
It came out in 95.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's grungy.
It's super grunge. Yeah. Yeah, it's super grunge. Yeah, I mean that's that to me that just all that is screams grunge.
Yeah.
So like the post grunge idea, I think if we looked at grunge more as like waves, like we do with like emo and stuff like that,
I think that's a good
that
idea.
would be a better way to look at it. But I think really what the post grunge like hit should be is what we like should just call the second wave of grunge is Nickelback, Three Doors Down.
That's fair. Yeah.
Because
that definitely does kind of fit.
Okay, so it's not grunge, right?
No.
But
It's butt rock.
but what it okay, so it's butt rock. We call it that now.
Yeah.
Didn't call it then. Yeah.
What is the third wave of emo? I think it's the second and third wave of emo. Like, do you know those bands?
No.
It's unimportant because if you know the fourth wave of emo, which is Fall Out Boy and Paramore
okay.
and My Chemical Romance, those are emo bands, 110%.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you listen to the emo before that, it's like, where the fuck did we get this?
Yeah. How did we get to this?
How did we
Yeah.
we?
I see your point.
You can see the trails is how you get to Fall Out Boy from emo, but it is not identical by any means. Right. So when I see the list of like Nickelback, Three Doors Down, Puddle of Mud,
Yeah. I can
especially Puddle of Mud.
yeah, there's so much there that's like I get why this would be the next wave of grunge music.
Yeah.
Especially when you think about the popularity that grunge was holding. A band like Nickelback could go, I'm gonna do that, but make it, popular. Canadian. That's what I was gonna say. Yep. And I think that so much of what is sticking through grunge in the mainstream, which is not the messiness, it's the catchiness, it's the vocal styling, and maybe I would say the rhythmic ideas.
And the addition of slight guitar solos.
Use still, and in fact I have like a band I really like now who I would call like whatever wave of grunge we're on now. Like it's like
4 or 5.
yeah.
Which band?
Webbed Wing. I'd say Webbed Wing
Yeah.
is like for sure some kind of wave of grunge. The guitar solos are simple, the melodies are easy, his vocals are clean, but like he doesn't articulate all the time. It's like
In the same way that we could call Idols punk.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, which brings us to our final point, which is what is it about grunge? What is it about grunge in you guys' mind that made it stick through time, that made it the most popular thing for a minute, and has still been that way? Is it the dirtiness of the music? Is it the loudness of the bands? Is it the I don't give a fuck attitude?
Yeah, I would say the attitude's probably like the easiest thing to pick out, because every, not generation necessarily, but every like wave of it has been followed by like people are mad about something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and every generation of kids who are cast out from the popular group are not going to listen to the popular music. They're going to listen
They're
to
going to listen to Nickelback.
Well, maybe, but they're going to listen to what it is that they've heard about that also involves people who were cast out.
Right.
And so Nirvana and bands like that are the go-to, and then anything you find after that is just more wood for the fire.
Yeah.
It makes these kids still to this day feel like they have a place to live.
Yeah.
And it's approachable too. The idea of making
it's easier
music,
to get into, yeah.
yeah, like Ian said in the chat, definitely the dirt of the music, but greasy riffs for everyone.
I think that's a great I think that's a great like thought. I just think that people don't like most people don't like that part of it. Most people don't give a shit about like the dirt and the grease and the messiness. People hear shit like what we just listened to. It sounds messy. We listen to that Melvin stuff. It sounds messy. It's not like people don't want to hear someone do something wrong,
Right.
or what sounds wrong, I should say. There's an interesting thing that one of the Sub Pop co-founders said, that Seattle was a perfect example of a secondary city with an active music scene that was completely ignored by an American media fixated on Los Angeles and New York City, and that kind of I think encapsulates the idea of like this underdog idea of like, well, if they're not going to fucking pay attention to me, who cares? Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But and you do see it in the way that the first wave of grunge collapsed so quickly, is that in the hands of the big record labels and all of the eyes of the world on you as a band member, it's like, oh, I was poor a year ago. Imagine.
Yeah.
But it
And
doesn't
a slight
really
drug dependency.
Slight.
it doesn't really lend itself to being popular
No.
either.
No. Can you imagine the evolution of Nirvana had Kurt Cobain still been alive?
Right.
I think that's like kind of
Like if they had put out 12 albums.
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
Pearl Jam are still doing it. Stone Temple Pilots are still doing it. Stone Temple Pilots are on their third lead singer.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Third Yarler.
Yeah.
That's what they put in the job posting.
Yeah.
They actually
Must Jarl.
the third lead singer they found was actually by way of a contest.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right. Okay, I remember this. Yeah, I think that like there's something that to the popularity, I think, that has to do, maybe fortunately, unfortunately, with the style and the aesthetic of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think that the music, I think that it's really easy for someone who maybe is not into heavy music to listen to something like Smells Like Teen Spirit and say like, oh yeah, I feel angry from this. And it's like, well, this is maybe like the cleanest version of what you of what you could potentially listen to as far as that goes. This, not to say there's no anger in it, not to say there's not great playing in it, but it's like you listen to some of the stuff we already listened to, and it's like, oh, this is like aggressive.
And even listen to In Utero.
Yeah, that too.
It's like if you listen to those records as someone who doesn't know the three, like if you don't know Bleach, if you don't know Nevermind, you don't know In Utero, and you tell someone who's never heard those to categorize which one was the last one,
yeah,
Nevermind is going to be the last one.
One, it's crazy
every
because
time.
It's what stuck.
Yeah.
Well, quality production.
Yeah.
In Utero sounds like they made it themselves.
Well, and it's crazy because at the when the grunge decline started, people were saying In Utero was one of like the points of death, and it's like, okay, but they're just doing the heavy thing that other people were doing.
They were doing what they wanted to do too.
Exactly. And it might be what, is if you could say like if Metallica had made the Black Album and then made Saint Anger immediately after it, it's like, oh, there's the downfall.
Yeah.
You fucked it up. You fumbled the bag.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's a really interesting thing. I think that this is a true example of just like time and place.
Absolutely.
This is like one of those, we talk about it with certain genres, but when we look at like, I mentioned emo already, but if you look at even like thrash metal was birthed in the 80s, right? But that doesn't like it still has continued on and has just like been, right?
Yeah.
And like it was time and place, I think, when it was birthed to be like, oh my God, what the fuck? This is fucking awesome. And then it just has continued to be what it is. But this is like, you had to be there for this. This is actually like everyone should have FOMO for not being like in their teens or something in the 90s, early 90s to be around for this, right? And it's super interesting. I mean, like especially the idea of it just being from Seattle. It's like,
right. That's a weird part of it.
That's a super interesting thing of just like, it's from this city. That's it.
Well, the city in that time.
This city in like if I were to be really kind, 85 to 93.
Yeah.
85 to 93 Seattle, that is grunge, right?
Well, and even just 1991, because I was thinking about like the big four. I think they all released records that year, and it was
all did,
Nevermind.
yeah.
And that was the peak of
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all released albums. Yeah.
10 by Pearl Jam, Bad Motorfinger by Soundgarden. Here's some other ones that came out that year. Use Your Illusion, Guns N' Roses, the first record.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure the Black Album came out at that time
Did it come out that year?
in 91.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
And No More Tears by Ozzy Osbourne.
Wow, that's wild.
That was like a huge year for
Yeah.
for music.
So again, it's a crazy time. It's a crazy thing. Grunge is. I think that the hottest take that I have and my big takeaway is that I don't like it. That's my biggest like hot take thing is like it just.
I don't think any of us go back and just listen to it a lot.
Well, I mean, I like going back and listening to bands I've never heard of and just being like, I don't know who this is, and I'm
Right.
listening, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I there's something about going back and listening to old punk that's messy that I'm like, I'm getting something like I'm getting an extra sense of aggression from this. I don't know why I'm missing it from grunge. Maybe the unfortunate thing is I just have like a subconscious thing of grunge being like maybe an aesthetic more than anything else.
Yeah.
That could be part of it, but I listen to it, I just don't get that same visceral reaction that I do from punk, which was a big inspiration for it. So
I do think that while Dave Grohl is the most famous drummer from that era, I think Matt Cameron is the godfather of grunge drums because
Yeah.
he plays drums in Pearl Jam now and also played in Soundgarden.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. He
Playing
gets
drums
it.
for 2 out of the big 4 bands.
Yeah,
It's
he
like-
gets it.
Yeah.
That's very true.
And I think Nirvana's overrated.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think that's a hot take.
No.
No, I was talking about the Rolling Stone top 250 guitar player like
A lot of
list.
people are angry about that list.
Yeah, Kurt Cobain's on it.
No.
Why the fuck is Kurt
He
Cobain
would
on that
he
list?
would even be like, why the fuck am I on this list?
Everyone who knew why the fuck is he there? It's
Yeah.
crazy. Anyway,
And I would assume he's not 250.
he is
Like, he's above
he's
people
in
on
the
that
top
list.
100.
Is it best or most influential?
It's the same thing as that vocalist thing we did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just want people to talk about their article.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Which is kind of what we thought when we were doing that episode.
Yeah. But anyway, like I totally get why people like 90s grunge. It's just not my thing. I think grunge in general I think is cool. It's just not. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
But super fascinating as far as the history, as far as the impact, as far as all of the above. Just to be such an isolated event of music and then push forward like that.
Yeah.
So, anybody got anything else about grunge?
No, I'm just happy some of the bands are still around,
Yeah,
but
for
just
sure.
not a lot of them are.
Yeah.
And I actually was talking to an older student like months ago about that era, and he was like, for people that are fans of like the 70s music who grew up in the 70s, he's like, some of those people died, but most of them are still around. He's like, I was a big fan of all of these grunge people at a very formative time, and before I was an adult, they all died.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
that's a weird fact to
But
think
it
about.
is
Yeah.
like a genre you're not going to like be older and see your heroes dying.
Exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're already dead.
They're already dead.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's wild. Well, should I what listening to? So it's a weird time. There's like a lot. I'm going back through a lot of old stuff right now. There's also a few releases I'm looking forward to. As far as new things, there is I'll call them a hardcore band, I guess, called the Callous Daoboys. Such a good
Did Andy come up with this?
right.
Yeah, is this Andy's new band?
Such a good
Friend of the
fucking band
show?
name. The Callous Daoboys. They put out an EP called "God Smiles Upon the Callous Daoboys." And I'll have to play some of it for you, maybe on Friday.
Yeah.
But it is incredible. Ian, if you have not heard this EP, I highly suggest that you listen to this EP. It is a wild, like weird, especially if you like Car Bomb, it's weird. Put out a single called 23, and I like it. It's the first time I listened to it, I was like, man, I wish there was more happening, but I found myself just putting on repeat.
Yeah.
It's so catchy.
Their tour vlogs have been really enjoyable.
Yeah, they're crushing the social media shit.
When does their new album come out?
I don't know.
Hopefully
don't know yet.
ASAP because
Yeah.
they're on that tour right now with the Jonas Brothers.
They're
right?
opening for the Jonas Brothers, but that's for like a long time.
Yeah.
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 It's nice to see a band touring with one band for a long time.
It's nice to see a band like that touring
Yeah.
with the
Right.
Jonas Brothers.
Since the pandemic, it's been like Taylor Swift's going on tour with 13 different artists
Yeah.
over
Yeah. Everybody gets a couple
2
days.
months. Yeah.
The cool thing about the Lauren stuff too is that this song's called 23. It's about her 23rd birthday, and she went and interviewed people on the streets of New York, and then also interviewed one of the Jonas Brothers. Like, what was your 23rd birthday like? So they're at least like making those connects, which is great. I mean, like you there's like the nightmare of the fact that like, you know, you go on tour with this huge band and you just don't meet them because they're so big. Like they're off
Right.
doing their own thing.
Right.
But
Yeah.
Well, it's like it's a big business.
yeah,
We hear about that
exactly.
all the time.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm listening to.
It was the anniversary of Gord Downey from the Tragically Hip's death last week. So I started listening to the Hip again, as I do every year. And their album Now for Plan A has been on steady rotation.
Nice.
Nice. I've been listening to the album that y'all talked about a couple weeks in a row, Renee Rapp's Angel.
Dude, it's
Snow
really
Angel
good.
album.
What do you think?
It's great. I've listened to it like a dozen times.
It's
so
so
good.
good.
It's-
It like jumps up the list of like year end.
It's in like my top 5. for the
She's
year.
she's so good.
Yeah.
I want 2 outings. I want 2 outings for the podcast. I want 1 outing for us to go see the Taylor Swift movie, and then I want another outing for us to go see Mean Girls the musical movie when it's in theaters. And I
I
want
didn't know they were doing that.
and because Reneé Rapp was
Well, I knew that part. I
Yeah.
didn't know they made
and Reneé Rapp's in the
of it.
movie. Yeah. Reneé Rapp's Regina George in the movie. So I'm super fucking excited for that. Those are my votes for.
Do we actually have to go to a theater? Or
do
can
you
we just
mean?
watch them at like your house?
We can wait until it's
Or Adam,
Yeah, we have a theater
your house.
At my house.
We can
watch
wait
it there.
We can wait until it's available in
I
Adam's
think
theater.
I would prefer that for the Taylor Swift thing.
It's
this might
because
be-
it's gonna
I
look
heard-
weird when we're all dancing at the front and
I
like
heard-
walking
I-
around in circles.
I heard it's they're all dead now. I heard all the theaters are dead now. It
was
was
quick.
it was the first week went crazy, and then it was like I had a student go and they're like there was no one in there.
Oh, good.
That's the way Dave wants to see movies.
That's yeah.
I just like the idea of like oh good no one's in the Taylor Swift movie.
No one's watching it anymore.
No, it made more money than any movie last week still.
Yeah.
so.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And they're only doing it on Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Jesus
which
fucking
is
Christ.
crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
Wow.
Well, anyway, yeah, Reneé Rapp's album,
Yeah,
incredible.
It's a great album.
Yeah. Anybody got anything
I
else?
want another album right away, like
Oh yeah.
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 because it's a short album too.
It
so.
is. It is.
Good episode.
Yeah. Good
job.
episode.
Good job researching all
Yeah.
this.
Hey,
Thanks, Hagen.
Hey, listen here. Listen here. If my computer does some shit again, I quit.
We're gonna this MacBook, which is still very warm.
Come on, Patreon.
No, I'm kidding.
No.
I really just can't stand the technical difficulties, but I appreciate everybody for sticking through. I appreciate everybody for liking the stream, all that good shit. But if you haven't already, please subscribe on whatever podcast app you're using to listen to this. If you're on YouTube right now, also like and subscribe the video. That helps us out a ton. If you're on social media, come check us out. Don't Be the Artist on TikTok, DFTA Podcast on Instagram. Posting kind of regularly. It's just so fucking exhausting. But again, we have our Patreon. If you have not joined the Patreon, go do that. We have 2 episodes up already. One's like an after party weeks ago episode, and another one is us doing like a middle school band thing, which is also fun. And we'll be filming and uploading another episode this weekend, which will be a K-pop episode if you join.
Yeah, and I think we have another 1 or 2 in the next couple weeks. So.
Yeah. So we'll be all set. Join the Patreon. You get merch when you join.
Yeah,
So
we'll be getting this stuff out
Yeah.
as soon as we get koozies.
exactly. It's on me. I'm sorry. And if you have any topic ideas, join the Patreon. You can DM us directly on there and like talk to us from there. But you also on social media can DM us any topic ideas. If you want to say hi, you want to say hello, you want to share your thoughts on grunge, anything at all, DM us, say hi to us, drop a comment. We would love to hear from you guys. We appreciate you so much for being here, for watching, for listening. It means the world to us, and for sticking through all the technical difficulties because I fucking hate it. So thank you guys so much for being here. We really appreciate it. And
Get rid of town!
all right, I gotta go.